Hello everyone and welcome to my video. My name is Orca and today I'll be showing you a kind of rate of fire build for your gunship. It's pretty popular with most of the people who know how to build a railgun kind of a build for any gunship. So the thing is you have to increase the rate of fire rather than the damage output itself. So I have a build here already. It's a critical build, short range critical build with a decent rate of fire changes. So this is my crew settings for this ship. It's really important to have this ant implant ready, installed. So the other important stuff are the ammo, the capacitor, iridium heatsink slots, and I specifically chose the Apollo for the buffs and everything it offers. So main weapon damage increase, critical chance increase, rotation speed increase. So I don't have to spend any modules to compensate for those negative effects. So I have pretty decent regular build for my Empire ship. As any Empire ship, I build them to hull tank and to have as much damage output as possible. So why is the rate of fire build so interesting? Well, it's mainly because you are playing the player rather than playing the game, because when somebody gets hit like 10 times per second, they immediately start to panic because they think they're getting a shit ton of damage, they are going to die or something like that, and they just panic, and that's the moment you have to exploit to get that kill, to get that score you always wanted to have. So with the gunships and specifically the assault railgun, I really like to play them on a rate of fire build because uh, it's easier to make them like that than it is to actually go for just damage. So I play damage per second, so shots per second rather than just damage per second. I focus on the per second element rather than just damage. When you increase the rate of fire, you also increase the damage per second as well, so it's a win-win situation anyway. So uh, let's do the math behind this damage output, this build in general. So what we have here is assault railgun build for critical damage, decent critical chance, decent critical damage bonus. So let's just do some basic math. So the half, the 50% of overdrive you get like extra. Just incorporate that 50%, and 50% of 3,100 is close to 1.6 thousand. So just add that number to let me just do the math. So we have an effective damage per second of 4.7 thousand DPS. So that's a nice number, and when you combine that with the 121 extra critical damage, you have a number really close to 9,000 DPS. So that's a huge number for just a simple assault railgun. As I said before, it's used to surprise your enemy, to fight in close quarter battles. It's not really useful for fighting against interceptors because they are really fast. Unless you have a friend that can slow them down, in that case it's really helpful. But otherwise it's really good against other fighters, frigates, or anything that's slow. For that matter, the slower it is, the easier it is to kill, to deal a ton of damage. So with this build, you're basically dealing like 10 shots each second. So that's a huge number when you think about it. I always talk about overdrive active. I'm not talking just the regular damage output. I'm always talking about the overdrive because this build is utilized with the overdrive, and without the overdrive I do not recommend to fight a solo kind of a one versus one way. So always do some basic decision making when encountering your enemy to fight over objective or just score. So it's used for surprising your enemy, to uh, assassinate the smaller, squishier targets as fast as possible so you can focus on multiple other targets. So in just 8 seconds you can actually finish off multiple enemies, especially if they are weakened or down. In any case, it's really fast ship with assassin kind of a build. So I will be showing in my next video how to use this kind of a build, when to use it, how to use it, when's the best time, when's the worst time. I will document the whole process as I go. So stay tuned and see you